of the phone so that the phone is not phoning and it immediately goes to voicemail. Of all the things that a smartphone can do, like there are not enough ways to actually control the phone part itself or like customize what the phone is doing. Anyway, here I am. I'm live streaming. I'm available for readings. I don't know what I'll be talking about, chatting about, but I'm going to be taking my vitamins. So this is what I do with my vitamins. I have this little container. Hi, Jaded Kate. And so like every other day, what I'll do is like I'll open it like this, and I'll take my vitamins and whatever, and I'll put one of each in this, and then one of each in this, and then I'll take this one, and then I'll put the lid on so that the next day I can just open it up like I just did, and the vitamins are there. Which vitamins do I take? Hold on just a moment. I take a multivitamin, vitamin E, vitamin D, fish oil. Right now I'm taking this probiotic pill. That's a new thing recently because I've been having gastro issues. It seemed like initially this was trying to work. Now it's not doing anything. So anyway, I have an appointment with a gastro doctor. I think that's everything. Vitamin E, vitamin D. What is this? I have 2 of these. I think I ended up putting 2 vitamin E tablets in here. And then there's omeprazole, which is just for like, I have some mild acid reflux. So. So that's what I'm taking. I've had this up in the window to get warm because these taste better when they're warm, but this Quest Bake Shop brownie, it's only 2 grams of net carbs. And I'm doing keto. I just finished, I'm about at a month and a week into keto. I just finished a month of successful keto. Successful meaning like, I think I lost 9 pounds in this past month, but the past week I haven't lost anything. I've also been swimming laps, but you know, it comes in spades, right? Maybe do a 2-week trial run with those Yakult bottles that worked for me. Is that like yogurt? Or is it like a yogurt type drink or something? I'm not sure what Yakult bottles is. I did try yogurt itself as well. I also tried kimchi, like to get my probiotics that way. Is that like a kefir type thing, the Yakult bottles? Okay, tiny bottles of that, yeah. I mean, all of these things, like when I initially started them, they had a little bit of an improvement, but then it went back to where it was, even though I was continuing to take the thing. So, I don't know. Maybe the gastro doctor can help me figure it out. I hope so. Because it's been going on for like 3 months now. Oh yeah, this brownie is nice and warm from being in the sunny, I don't know what you call this. What is it? The dashboard? It was up in the window getting warm. They are much better that way. Yeah, I am. Next week is my appointment with the specialist. So, I don't know. Hopefully they can help me figure it out. How have you been doing? Jaded Kate. Got 2 people watching. One of them is you and one of them is someone else. I don't know. Feel free to say hello, whoever's watching. It's a lot of just when people are not getting readings, it's just me like chilling out, and that's usually like the beginning of the live stream is exactly that. I do have a new pick-a-card video up today on my other channel that I'm using for pick-a-cards. I've gotten a little bit past 100 subscribers over there. Slow and steady. Just chilling outside, that's nice. Are you having nice spring weather where you are? It's very pleasant weather here in Kentucky today. April is such a weird month weather-wise, though. Like, there are days like today, which, like, okay, this feels legitimately like what you would expect spring to feel like, but then there's a lot of, like, back and forth. Like, it's winter, it's summer. It's winter, it's summer. But today feels like spring. And then a lot of rain. We've had flooding here as well recently. No, it shifted because last week was great sunny. Today is gray and rainy. Oh no. I'm sorry, I'm not super talkative. There are things that I have in mind to talk about, but I'm like, I don't know if it's worth it. Like, my opinions are just whatever. But I've been swimming laps a lot lately, like an hour at a time, or usually it's like 45 minutes of laps, and then I'll get in this, they have this warm water pool where I go, and I'll do like water aerobics and a little bit of stretching for the last 15 minutes. Because I feel like I do the water aerobics to focus a little bit more on my legs, because when I'm swimming laps, I feel like it's mostly my arms, you know, not that I'm not using my legs, but the way that I swim, I'm not like a professional swimmer or like athletic about it. I'm just like swimming slow and steady for the whole duration. I don't stop. But I feel like it's mostly my arms that are getting the workout. You just flop around in the pool. Even flopping around in the pool is like, it's good exercise though, because there's all that water resistance. I'm very sedentary otherwise, you know, like I'm just like chilling in my car, just sitting on my phone, you know, it's very sedentary. But so I have been swimming though, and these are like longer workouts than I've been used to. When I was younger in my 20s, I went through a phase where I swam laps a lot as well. I'm just trying to get back into it. I feel like it's great exercise. It's like strength training and cardio all at once. You do cycling, but that's easy here in Europe. Yeah, I bet that's really enjoyable. Like, yeah. It's easy. Why? Because things are flat. Is it like fairly flat there? I feel like biking is fun and easy when you're on like flat terrain. When there's hilly terrain, it is not as fun, in my opinion. I don't have good enough balance to ride an actual bicycle, but also in my 20s, I had this adult tricycle. I lived in Knoxville, Tennessee at the time, which is very hilly. But I did still ride my bicycle, usually from where I lived to downtown, which was like a mile or something. So it wasn't very far. Sometimes I would bike further than that, but it's very hilly. So when I was going uphill, instead of like biking up it, I would like stand next to the bike and like walk it up the hill, because it was just too much. I couldn't pedal up the hills, so I would walk the bike up the hill. Anyway. Oh, lots of cycling paths. That's really nice. That's really cool. Right. So you have basically you have bicycle roads where like you can get to wherever you want to go on a bicycle. That's awesome. Yeah, we do not have that in the United States. That is, I mean, there are some cities that are trying to create that type of infrastructure for bicycles. Like some places have better infrastructure for that than others. Actually, in Knoxville, there are a lot of people who bicycle a lot for transportation. So they probably in Knoxville have better infrastructure for that than a lot of places. But yeah, it is harder to find in the US for sure. Going to work on e-bikes. Are those electric bikes? So it's like a combination of your own effort and a sort of engine or something. That would be helpful for the hills, especially. And a little boost. Commute of 7 to 10 miles tops. Yeah. The longest I have ever biked in a day was probably 8 miles. And that was on a bike trail in Knoxville. So they do have like a pretty extensive, like you can go from one part of town to another, but it's really pretty too because it goes through the woods, that bike trail, as I remember. These are the things about Knoxville, Tennessee that I sort of miss, are the naturey things. I don't miss the people. I don't miss the people. Speed bikes. Oh, they go 35 miles an hour. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Wow, that brownie was really good. I feel like that's the best. That was the last of the pack. There were 4 in a pack. It took me a while to eat them all, but like that one really got nice and warm before I ate it. It makes it much softer when it's warm. It's just so much more enjoyable. I live in a part of Belgium that's very green and nature. That's nice. I mean, I would imagine, I don't know, but I would imagine even in the more like urban areas of Belgium, there's probably still access to nature, right? But what do I know? I mean, I would assume that there are nice parks and stuff. I don't know a lot about Belgium, but I used to do this couch surfing thing. There's this website called Couch Surfing where you can host people. It's kind of like an Airbnb, but free, you know? It's like very bohemian, I guess. But like there was this woman visiting from Belgium. And anyway, she stayed with me. She was really nice. She was not originally from Belgium. I can't remember where she was from, but she was going to school in Belgium. Oh, there are cities with almost no green parks and lots of concrete. Well, yeah, that is a sad environment. I wouldn't want to live in a place like that. I'm glad you have access to nature. Nature is nice. I'm from the country. I grew up in the country and like I guess probably took nature for granted. But yeah. The thing about the US, I looked at your comment, Rach, and I saw pooped. I saw just pooped. Just popped in to say hi. Thank you for popping in and saying hi. The older I get, the more I like nature. I'm in a big city. Yeah. I feel like I've always liked nature. I can't imagine myself necessarily living in a big city. if I did live in a city, it would need to be a city that still had some sort of access to nature. Like New York City has Central Park, right? I'm sure they have other parks as well, but Central Park seems pretty awesome. I've actually never been to New York City. That's how lame I am. But like if I did, I would be going to Central Park. When I visit a place, I visit its nature places. Like I like going to botanical gardens. I also love river walks. If I'm visiting a city that is on the river, like I love it places that have created a like river walk type thing. Botanical gardens, arboretums, just really nice parks, you know, like those are things that I go visit. You're in New York as cousin. I don't know what you mean by that. Can't see the screen very well. Let me see if I can. It helps me a little bit. It's a lot of glare. They have parks on lots of street corners. New York City has tried to incorporate lots of green. Yeah. Also, don't people in New York City do a lot of like rooftop gardens too, which would be cool. So that's nice. In a city like New York City, but smaller. Yeah. Yeah, I would really hate to live somewhere that is like there's no access to nature. I like hearing the birds sing. Like right now I can hear the birds sing. It's very pleasant. I like watching squirrels. I've been chirping with them occasionally. Most don't get confused. Well, theoretically, you can talk to birds, you know. I feel like I had a conversation once with a crow. Like we understood each other. Crows are very smart, though, also. Like, and I was like crowing at it or chirping at it. Anyway, makes me sound a little bit Looney Tunes. There is, I don't know if this is going to make people uncomfortable, but I think is his name Marbus. There is we'll say spirit guide or like I mean I think he's technically a demon. What is his name? I'm not remembering his name correctly, but he presents himself sometimes as a crow or a crow-like humanoid, but he can teach people how to speak with animals. Thank you for the heart, whoever is leaving hearts. That's so sweet. Is it Marbus or is it someone else? Or Cephas? It either starts with an M or a C. I think he's a demon, but like, listen, here's the thing with demons. You know, like the word daemon, Daemon, basically means spirit guide. And like when people who are working with demons, it's the same kind of thing. It's a spirit guide. It doesn't necessarily mean that you're like doing horrible things or like you're trying to cause harm to people. These are entities that have a lot of wisdom. Like in my understanding, for example, like a fallen angel is an angel who has chosen to make a sacrifice, basically, in order to increase their understanding. Like there are two sides to every coin, right? A fallen angel has chosen to embrace the other side of the coin because how can you access that knowledge or that experience unless you do that? And so that they've made a sacrifice, right? They've fallen out of God's grace, so to speak. But anyway, so I don't think that demons are necessarily nefarious entities, not the ones who are working as spirit guides. But you also have like entities that people refer to as demons or demonic, which are kind of like, you know, bad ghosts or like malevolent ghosts type things, right? like paranormal demons. Like people use the same word for two different things, but like a demon who is like a spirit guide. Marbus is a demon, the lion demon. Okay, so it's not Marbus. I feel like it starts with a C, the one that I'm thinking of, but he looks like a crow, and I don't think he's one of the Solomonic ones. I think he's separate from the Solomonic demons. Anyway, he approached me once and like gave me signs, and I looked up those signs, and I'm like, oh, this is who's trying to speak to me. And I feel like he was trying to help me because I already am very connected to spirit animal medicine, or like signs and omens. Like I get interesting things happening to me. Like multiple times in the past few months, I've had animals come to me and die. I had a black bumblebee, which I didn't even know that existed. I don't think that's the technical name, but it's a bee, like as big as a bumblebee, but it was completely black, and it came to me and was clinging to my shirt for like a long time, and then I put it out on a tree and it died, so it was close to death. Then I had a fly come maybe a month after that and sit on my pinky finger for a long time, and then I placed it on my dash on top of my tarot deck, and it died. Like they were coming to me close to death. I had a butterfly once light on my shoulder and like stay there and just like staring into my eyes. I'm like looking down and I see this butterfly. Like I've had interesting moments like that already, and I feel like this spirit guide, demon, whatever, wanted to help me facilitate my connection to animals. I do follow a German woman that channels Anubis, and he said he's Hades, Anubis, Archangel Azrael, Tuoni. So he's all those things. I do like the Crow Tarot. So you're saying that Anubis is all of these entities. Anubis is one of my spirit guides. In fact, I have that information. But I don't talk to Anubis all that often. Like, in any case, like he is helping me with a certain part of my life's journey. And Anubis was the spirit guide the first spirit guide who told me who he was, like who made me aware of who he was. And at the time when that happened, I didn't believe in gods and goddesses as real. I thought they were mythology. I mean, I was interested in mythology, but like I didn't believe in that until Anubis made me aware of his presence in my life and introduced me to other spirit guides. But yeah, I don't talk to Anubis all that much, really. But the conversations we have had have been very interesting. But yeah, I do feel like a lot of entities have multiple, like you're saying, like multiple facets of the same, it's the same energy or the same expression, and the multiple facets can go by different names. I guess that's what you're saying. Oh, that's why you were drawn to my channel as well. Yeah. I mean, I don't really talk a lot about Anubis or whatever, but like he did open a significant doorway to me spiritually when I was going through a major spiritual upgrade or whatever in my life. He was an important part of that. And we've had some interesting conversations. One of the things that Anubis is helping me with is learning how to become a spirit guide, but while I'm here in the physical as a human, right? So I'm learning certain skills of being a spirit guide so that I can transfer those skills when I'm like in spirit or whatever. And one thing that he said to me, because he does have anger issues and sometimes he loses patience with the people that he is guiding himself, he said that's one of the reasons why he's working with me, is because I also sometimes will lose patience. So he's like, we can relate to each other. I can relate to you on that level. That's something that I can help you with. I see ladybugs when I come out of a hard time. They land on or near me. That is so sweet. They are such a positive omen, I think, ladybugs. That's really wonderful. A few months ago, I was seeing dragonflies, like multiple dragonflies every single day for like 2 or 3 weeks or something. And I know it took me a while to understand what the dragonflies were saying. I did finally understand it, and eventually I'll talk about it on my channel. But it is a big change that I'm trying to make, which if I told you what it was, you would probably be surprised that this is the path that my life is about to take. But I am, anyway, it's like a career path change that's quite different from this. But anyway, I don't want to talk about it openly until it's has manifested more fully. But I lose patience when someone is really stupid. I do too. I do too. Yeah. Recently, I was feeling that way about a lot of comments I was seeing online where it's like people are just parroting things that they've heard without actually doing their research and like just stating things that are like very much not even factual, but they're convinced it is because it supports the conclusion that they've already come to. But anyway, I don't want to get into all of that. Oh, I'm looking healthier. Thank you so much. I am swimming laps and still doing keto, so sometimes at certain angles I do look better, you know, like, and sometimes my stupid neck really like shows a lot and I hate it, but it's not as obvious today, my weird neck waddle, which is nice. I appreciate that. I also lose patience, probably why I am here. Yeah, patience is hard to achieve sometimes. Yeah. I actually had a moment like that yesterday and I had to talk it out with ChatGPT just to get it off my chest, but it was a client interaction and I don't know if I want to talk about it because it's a client interaction, because I respect my clients and I'm here to help them, but like sometimes the people have a sort of cognitive dissonance sometimes, and it's just like I can't. I'll just say this. Sometimes people, they want to hear what they want to hear, and they're convinced that that's the same as wanting to hear the truth. And it isn't, because the truth is not always what you want to hear. And I mean, I can't, like, let's say you went to the doctor and you were getting tested for COVID, and the doctor did the test and they could see that you do have COVID, but the doctor also knows that you don't want to have COVID. So what should the doctor tell you? Should they tell you what you want to be the truth, or should they tell you what is actually the truth, which is going to be more helpful to you, right? But this is what people expect a lot of times, not always, but a lot of times people do expect this from tarot readers and other psychic readers, but that's just not the point. There may be readers out there who do that for people and just fluff someone up and tell them exactly what they want to hear all the time. I don't do that. You had a fake date with your celebrity crush on ChatGPT by accident this week? You're going to have to explain that a little bit more. First of all, who is your celebrity crush? People also don't have foresight or insight. That's frustrating when you're mentally 3 steps forward and you know they can't catch up. Yeah. Those people are hard to coach. My aunt was like that, but I would turn away those clients because it's not helpful to sugarcoat. I mean, I still wasn't sugarcoating. I didn't with her. And a lot of times it's simple enough for me to say, well, I can only tell you what I see. You know what I mean? Like for some people, it's like, oh, okay. Then they're like, all right, you're just telling me what you see. I know it's not what I want to hear. But for this particular client, that was not enough. And she kept challenging it. She had gotten a reading for me before about a separate issue, and I was seeing positive things, and I had told her that, and then that's what happened. the positive things that I foretold are what happened. And when she called me back yesterday, she mentioned that. She's like, I got a reading with you before. You said blah, blah, blah was going to happen. And it did. And she wanted another reading. Like, people think somehow, I don't know. I mean, they want a confirmation that the thing that they want to happen is going to. And what I did for her is more than just that. I'm like, your spirit guides are telling me that what you actually want here is not what you think you want anyway. What you think you want isn't going to happen. But what you really want is this, and your spirit guides are suggesting this in order to embrace and have the experience that you're wanting to have, which you can have. So this is another thing, like, we all do it sometimes. I know I have. When we want a particular present, but we get confused and we think that the wrapping paper that it comes in is actually what we're wanting. So for example, let's say you want love. You want love. Okay? Well, love can be found in many forms, but we can get attached. Let's say we're attached to, like, I need love from this specific person in this specific way. That's the wrapping paper. It doesn't matter what the gift is wrapped in. It's the gift itself that you're wanting. But people get confused. We all do this. So I'm trying to approach it to, like, as a healer, but it wasn't hitting home with her, which is fine, you know. Sometimes people will give you, like, bad reviews. I don't think she has, but that's a thing that I don't like as well. I'm like, I'm actually being honest and working with integrity here. And, like, I have to risk, like, getting a bad review over it. But, I mean, I don't know. All right, Rach, you've left us hanging. So you had a fake date with your celebrity crush on ChatGPT by accident. I don't know how that happens. There are chatbot apps where you can, like, create a chatbot to be a specific person or have certain qualities. The one that I tried, though, like that, it kind of was a little bit hit or miss, because I feel like I wanted to create a chatbot who was speaking to me as Lilith, and it kind of, like, I don't know, it wasn't really working, but I can see where the technology is going, that it could probably get better and better. Oh, okay. Well, yeah, I'm curious to hear that story. That sounds interesting. But yes, drive safe. That is important. That is much more important. Well, maybe today's live stream is just going to be a chit chat, because I don't see anyone purchasing any readings, but that's okay. Yeah, but I know, like, years ago, I also, when I was anxious or, like, just wasn't happy with life, I would reach out for tarot readings with the same mindset. So it's like, sometimes I feel like it's my karma, that I have to learn how to develop my patience and articulate myself. And, oh, you're going to purchase? Okay. I mean, you don't have to. I was just like, don't feel obligated because I said that. I mean, if you want to, then do it because of that reason. But I like the chit chat as well. Okay, I wanted to ask about my spiritual progress. How can I better develop my gifts? Okay. All right. Let's see. I feel the Cosmic Tarot is wanting to be your deck for this reading. I'll go ahead and start the timer. We probably have plenty of time though if we need more time than this, because like I said, it feels kind of slow today. Yeah, I think that that is true as well, Rach, for sure. And so I do, yeah. I mean, I do feel like it's part of my work as a tarot reader to guide people through that anxiety. But you can only do so much if someone is stuck in a certain mentality, you know. All right. One reader said I needed to be around people more to develop my empathic gift because I was isolating, but if I draw my own card from Tarot of the Spirit, it says the opposite. Well, I'm going to see what your cards say and connect to your spirit guides and see what they say. But I will just say from my personal experience, just to give you, I don't know if that, for whatever that's worth. And if we go over 10 minutes, that's fine, like I said. You know, some of us are so sensitive that we don't actually need to be actively interacting with people all that much, because when we do interact with people, we absorb other people's energy so quickly and easily. So if that is the case, then why would you need, there's a car alarm going off, why would you need to overextend yourself? Is that, do you think that's what it is? I'm always like, I'm still trying to figure out when like sirens and alarms and things go off while I'm doing a reading. Like I feel like it does mean something, but I have asked my guides about it and I'm still not clear about what it means. But I really hope this goes. Okay, thank you. God. Oh my God. Wow, that was a lot. I don't know if it was as loud to you all as it was to me, but it's like I could not even like hear myself think there. Okay, it's like cheering me on. Okay, I'm glad that it didn't feel like I was being cheered on. It was like, God dang. All right. But yeah, I mean, I would have to disagree with this person that that is necessary. If you are a very empathic, sensitive person, you can pick up people's energy very quickly and easily and absorb it. So I don't know, but we'll see what your spirit guides have to say. So what do your spirit guides say about this specific issue of developing your empathy, your empathic gift? And I'm going to open it up to talk about your gifts in general as well. But like, since you mentioned that gift specifically, what are your spirit guides saying? We have the Wheel of Fortune, which does indicate like trying new things or trying different things, trying different approaches that you haven't been used to. And then we have the Strength card. Which aspect of the Strength card are we looking at? The Seven of Pentacles. Okay. Tell me more about the Wheel of Fortune. Okay. Well, so the Wheel of Fortune is clarified by the Two of Cups. So I would say that there is something to, in developing your empathic abilities, trying new ways to connect to other people's energies, like ways that you haven't done before. Like that could mean a lot of different things. There are lots of ways we can connect with other people's energies. It doesn't necessarily mean we have to be side by side or face to face with them. It could mean like if you haven't done pendulum work, you could do pendulum work to understand and tune into someone else's energy. You could develop dream work capabilities, but whatever it happens to be, it's like try new things, experiment with new forms of connecting with other people, things that you haven't done before. There's a sort of novelty factor here with the Wheel of Fortune. And then beyond that, we get the Strength card and the Seven of Pentacles. So it's kind of like have the strength to persevere, like try something new and then kind of keep trying it. You know, it's making me think of like, I don't know if you all ever saw the show Yo Gabba Gabba. When my niece was little, she loved that show, but it's a kid's show, so you may not have seen it, but it's pretty cute. And anyways, they're like, try it, you might like it, like trying to encourage kids to try foods that they never tried. But Anyway, it's giving that energy of like, try new things. You know, if you don't do crystals, try crystals. You know, like try different methods of connecting with other people's energy. And then have the courage to persevere if you don't feel like you're getting an immediate success, right? It takes courage to keep trying. So that's what I'm immediately getting there. Confirmation to pay attention to the road. That's true. Okay. So I also think, Jaded Kate, we have the Ten of Swords, the Justice, and the Four of Cups. To me, I feel like they are continuing to say, like, you are someone who is, sometimes you can connect empathically. It says 0 people are watching, so I hope you're still hearing this reading, but sometimes we can be so empathic with other people. It's almost like it's a very raw experience, like our flesh being ripped off, where we have the very strong insight and clarity represented by the Justice card. And then we have time afterwards to process it. So again, I feel like they're saying that there are new methods of connecting to other people empathically that maybe you haven't tried. And those methods would be almost make you into an empathic lightning rod. I think you already have this empathic lightning rod, but it's like these methods would lead to that even more. Okay, is there anything else to say about the empathic abilities? And if not, we'll move on. Okay, so I'm getting a no, so we'll see what else. In terms of her developing her spiritual abilities more generally, spiritual progress, what is your advice to her? We got the King of Cups coming up again, death. I think other than that, like, they do want you to work on grounding yourself, because like they were just saying, like, sometimes you can be a little bit of an empathic lightning rod, and it's like, you know, like so sensitive that it could feel almost like your flesh is being ripped off, you know. Very sensitive to other people's energies. And they want you to learn how to ground that energy. It's good that you have that strong of an intense ability to be empathic, but also you need to be grounded. So they're saying to work on grounding. Yeah, this is interesting. This Judgment card comes out where she's literally like halfway in the ground. It's kind of like when you ground your energy, it also actually works in effect to ground the energy of those people who you are empathically connected to as well. So it not only benefits you, but it serves a healing purpose to the people with whom you are connecting. So grounding yourself. I don't know if people can still hear me, because this is an ongoing issue with YouTube of where it glitches, and it's very frustrating to me because I never know if it's happening or not. Whoever is watching, if you could say something. Okay, I also got that thank you for saying something. Okay, so I know that you all are here, still here. I also got that I would be telepathic. Yeah, I mean, the clarity, yes. I would say the clarity is extremely strong. So yes, telepathic is one way of putting it, of experiencing that clarity. But yeah, really understanding, yeah, what someone is thinking and feeling. But they do want you to work on grounding. I've made a tarot channel Instagram, but haven't done anything about it as of yet because I want to develop my intuition better. All of the clairs. Well, do you want to ask them about what they would say about the tarot channel Instagram? the King of Cups keeps coming out. Like, so like, I mean, I do feel like you, they are confirming, like, again and again, you have a very, very strong, your abilities are strong already. You're like extremely empathic and like, okay, the timer's going off, but I don't feel like we have to stop. You know, there's nobody else in line here. Before I started doing a reading, I've been at this park for a couple of hours. Only when I started doing your reading did this start happening with the car alarm. I mean, I feel like they're saying that your abilities are strong enough already. Like, if you put yourself out there to attract people to you, if you're wanting to do it for business purposes, is what I'm thinking. Like, there are people who will be attracted to your energy and are willing to spend money on services with you. That is the cutest little cat emoji. Is that a cat coming out of a bag? Yeah, girl, like, there's no reason, I think, to hesitate. We have the Queen of Pentacles and the Strength card. I don't think there's any reason that you have to wait and develop yourself further. Like, you will continue to develop yourself as you provide services to people, if that's what you're wanting to do. I know it's definitely been the case for me. But anything else about her spiritual progress? The Strength card keeps coming up. Okay, I shuffled and shuffled, and I got this again. To be honest, I feel like they are saying that the spiritual progress is actually facilitated through you. Yeah, just go ahead and start. And yes, see how it goes. Learn through the process. And also because this is the Queen of Pentacles. And like, guys, I shuffled, you heard me, and I pulled the same two cards out again. You know, they told you to ground yourself. Using these abilities via a business model, Queen of Pentacles, does make your abilities stronger. And it helps to ground you at the same time because those abilities are being grounded through material interests. You know, it's being grounded in the material world. Does that make sense? Like, that's interesting because I never thought as that as a means of grounding per se, but like, you know, yeah, it is. It's grounding you because you have to root yourself in that world of what you're doing as a business person. And it can't just be about the spiritual woo-woo. So it serves the purpose of helping to ground you, which is what they're encouraging you to do anyway. You could probably use other grounding techniques as well, of course, but yeah, absolutely start and see how it goes. And Three of Pentacles, it's going to go well. It's going to go well. I read somewhere, and I don't know, like, you know, sometimes people just say random things. Does that mean that it's true? But like, for some reason it stuck with me. Like, if you start a business selling products or services or whatever, once you make 3 sales, that's all that it takes to tell you, to confirm to you that you have a viable business. 3 sales. That's all that it takes. If you can make 3 sales, then you have a viable business. You know, but things have to start where they start, you know. But yeah. So I hope that that is the encouragement that you need. And I hope you've gotten enough encouragement from the car alarm, because I'm not wanting to hear it anymore. Okay. Try to get a paper bowl out of here. It's okay, it's tearing. Okay, no, it's not. It didn't tear. Jeez. You're very welcome. That was a very enjoyable reading to do. Minus the car alarm. I'm going to eat again, because other than that brownie, I have not eaten today, and I'm just hungry. Three people watching. Yeah, they're going to watch me eat. I saw up to 7 at one point. I just recently got my 3rd sale on my Etsy shop. I opened an Etsy shop because I'm trying to expand my readings, like, and you know, like when you go fishing, if you overfish a certain area, like you should branch out and fish other areas. And like, I have a lot of return clients who get readings from my website. But I was like, if I open an Etsy shop, maybe that's like new territory that could draw in new clients. And obviously I do the live streams and I get a lot of return clients here as well. It's coming up on 1944 here, but I keep seeing that number everywhere. You keep saying 1944 or 744, or are you just talking about the repeated 4s? Oh, 1944. That's interesting. Wasn't that, is that like when World War II started, or like close to it? Maybe it was a little ways into. When did World War II start? Well, what are you making of that number? Oh, it ended. It ended in 1944? Well, that's good. If that's the year that it ended, then that seems like a really positive sign. Is that what you think the sign is telling you? Something about a war ending? Like in a metaphorical sense for yourself, or like in terms of a war that's happening in the world, or both? Like, what are you making of it? I really hope that this war in Ukraine ends soon. Also, it'd be nice if, I mean, if all the wars that are happening, like the one in Palestine, if all of this would be ending. Israel, Palestine. There are other wars too that are not getting as much news, but you never connected to that war. In the town where I live, they're building a World War II / Korean War memorial to honor the veterans of those wars, which I think is really nice because they don't get honored as much. We hear a lot more about Vietnam, which is great. You know, I'm not against that. But the other thing is, like, I would say like most of the World War II and Korean War vets are probably have passed on at this point. My papa was in the Korean War, and he died in 1999. He was 84 years old when he died. Well, maybe it's a sign to you that some sort of war, metaphorical war in your own life is ending, or some sort of chaos or upheaval is coming to a place of peace. I'm not very good at history. and like remembering when things happened or whatever. Anyway, like I like seeing veterans celebrated, and so I like that they're creating this memorial. Yeah, I would be curious too if I kept seeing a particular year, and especially such a historical year coming up. What were the repercussions? I mean, like the end of the World War II, I don't know, like what were the I guess there were lots of repercussions of that, or various after effects. Like, yeah, the war ended, but there were still lingering issues that had to be resolved from the fact that the war existed to begin with. But, you know, over time, like everyone did recover from the effects of the war, right? There's always more war. We've also got right now, astrologically, the planet Uranus is working its way to the end of the sign of Taurus. Taurus has to do with the economy, business, how we acquire the material things that we want, like food and clothing and whatever. So there have been so much upheaval and chaos and changes to the way that people access goods and services during this Uranus and Taurus transit. But I do feel like as it's coming to, I don't know if it's at the 29th degree, I think it might be. But like things kind of come to a head, you know, when a planet gets to the end of a sign, especially when we have a slow moving planet like Uranus. Like all of it just makes me think, like I was looking back at a post someone made on an astrology forum Reddit from months ago, like wondering, like, do you think that Uranus and Taurus will go out with a bang? And like now, as Uranus and Taurus is at its, like, I think it's either at or close to the final degree of Taurus, it's going to be moving into Gemini this summer, I think. But we have all these tariffs going on, like Trump putting tariffs on other countries, them retaliating with their own tariffs, and like the sort of turbulence and chaos that that's causing to various economies as well is very like Uranus and Taurus, like trying to go out with a bang. Like, yes, actually. Yeah, is that why those trade wars and tariffs are having this erratic energy? Yes, that's what I was trying to get at, actually. Yeah, I do believe so. It's just interesting sometimes how the astrology lines up. So also, I was noticing, like, probably like the day before this Blue Origin thing was going to go off, someone had posted something, or I was reading it the day before, like people were like thinking that something bad was going to happen to the Katy Perry and Gail, and these women were going to die or be injured or something, which didn't happen. But I was looking at it and I was seeing like Pluto in the 10th house of the chart for the Blue Origin thing. And when I see Pluto in the 10th house, I see, for one thing, there's a lot of scapegoat energy, which I don't want to get into that because I have unpopular opinions about it. But like, I don't understand the need for people to scapegoat other people. It's just a psychological trigger reaction that people have to want to scapegoat other people and blame other people for everything bad in the world. But but it makes sense that there has been a lot of scapegoating that has happened in reaction to this Blue Origin thing. But what I'm predicting with Pluto in the 10th house is that Blue Origin will end up actually making a shit ton of money, and like really significant gains will come in the aftermath of this most recent Blue Origin launch. Because Pluto in the 10th house will lead to a sort of meteoric rise, but it also it creates a lot of backlash against the person or the thing as well. The scapegoating effect of Pluto. But Pluto does also like amass a lot of wealth and or power. And interestingly enough, Pluto is also, when this was happening, transiting in Jeff Bezos' 10th house, close to his own Mars. So that's funny because Mars rules the head, and like he kind of fell and like hit his head or something as he was walking to the little dome thing, whatever it's called. I don't think it's called a shuttle, but whatever that thing is that they were inside of. Anyway, just random astrology thoughts. I should probably create some. I have not created new content for my astrology channel in a long time. I've been focused more on creating pick-a cards for my Luna by Gabby Turner pick-a-card channel, which if anybody's watching and they haven't checked it out, the link is in the description. If you like pick-a-card readings, I put out 3 per week over there. But yeah, the tariffs, the trade wars, and also even the Doge stuff, like the extreme changes brought about by Doge. That's also like very Uranus and Taurus energy. I will be honest, I don't always stay as abreast of like what's happening in other countries, like Belgium or wherever, like, because most of the news that I'm getting is like US centric. But I know that yeah, like you said, the trade wars are affecting a lot of countries. Okay, Ilja's current thoughts and feelings. Alrighty. Let's see. Okay, what are Ilja's current thoughts and feelings for Jaded Kate? Nobody else is buying readings, so no wait list. Yeah, that's a that's a positive way to look at it. Okay, what are Ilja's thoughts and feelings? Well, I feel like, so his energy is this 8 of Pentacles, and it's like the way that I see this little cat. If you can see, there's a little cat here watching her cook, I guess, or like, I don't know what she's doing in her cauldron here, but I feel like he's taking an interest in your work or like what you're doing in your life. Anyway, he's interested in what you're doing with your life, what you're creating, what you're doing, how you're applying your work and your efforts, basically. I do think that he feels like you're kind of occupied with your life at the moment and probably not paying so much attention to him. So those are just his initial thoughts here. He does still think that you like him. And also, I get the feeling that like when he's laying down in bed and like preparing to go to sleep, that before he goes to sleep, he does kind of lay there and think about you a lot. You were definitely on his mind, and he assumes that that you are still into him, interested in him, but he also feels like you're kind of more focused generally on other things that are going on in your life. He has been quite busy himself with work these past weeks. Yeah, but I do feel like he has been thinking about you a lot. And like he's kind of viewing you that same way. So there could be like a ping pong effect sort of going on here. I mean, I do feel, you know, like when I saw that Knight of Wands, he is on his broom there. I don't know if I can find the card again. Yeah, but I mean, I do feel that he is also busy, but like I still think he's sort of looking over to see what you're doing. Yes, mirroring. That's the word. I use ping pong, but like mirroring is actually what I'm trying to say. Thank you. That looked very suggestive. Which one? Okay, let's see here. What else? What is he thinking and feeling about you? Why does he feel so certain that you're interested in him? Well, I think he can kind of pick up on your energy for one thing, and he kind of like feels loved by you with this Ace of Cups, but also he's like, you know, Jaded Kate. Oh, of touching the broomstick. He's like, Jaded Kate is really attractive, and yet she doesn't seem to be involved with anyone. I think he is kind of assuming that maybe why you're not involved with anyone right now, or at least he doesn't perceive you to be. He perceives you to still be single. He's like, I think part of it might be that she still has feelings for me. I really do feel like you have like you do have a stronghold on his heart with this Strength card. He does feel that you are going to seek him out again. How do I explain this? He feels like you have a mixture of, like, you're a strong, confident woman, but sometimes you have these moments of like vulnerability and like emotional neediness that lead you to seek him out. He likes that about you. He likes that you have both qualities. Strong, confident woman, but also these moments of kind of like neediness where you're reaching out to him. He likes that. And I'm trying to understand what this is saying. I do feel like there are other women around him who there might be flirtation with, who like are flirting with him and he's flirting back. Something like that is happening. I feel like he doesn't want you to know about that. I do feel like the energy with these women is different from how it is with you. Like with you, it is more like love, and with these other women, it might be like, oh, she's hot or whatever. You know what I mean? Like it isn't as emotionally significant, really. I would say like he takes a more strong interest in you as a person than he does these other women who are more like eye candy maybe, or just like, oh, it's nice, it's flattering to get attention type of a thing. He does kind of feel like maybe that part of the reason why you are like dedicating yourself to work, or like, you know, building up your life in some way. This could be, you know, when I see the Eight of Pentacles, it can be like working on hobbies that are important to us. It can be working on career. It can be working on our physical health, you know, taking care of our body. It can be any and all of those. But in any case, he feels like you're working on yourself, applying yourself, being productive. And he thinks that maybe the motivation for you to do that is that it could be making you a little bit sad about these other women. And that's why he doesn't really want you to know about it, because I think he feels like you don't really understand. It's not the same as it is with you, but I don't think he knows how to say that to you or explain that to you exactly either. But yeah, he feels like maybe in order to get out of these negative feelings about these other women, that maybe you're just trying to distract yourself and focus on productivity. I think he wants you to be at peace. He doesn't want you to be upset. Specifically about him. He wants you to be at peace regarding him. But about other things too, I mean, I think he feels like sometimes you just get anxious in life, or like anxious, you know, he sees himself with this Wheel of Fortune as someone who has a lot of opportunities and like, you know, is taking advantage of those opportunities. I think he feels that you might not always feel like that's happening as much for you. He's assuming that this could be your perspective and that it would cause you anxiety, but like he sees a bright future for you. He sees that you have a lot going for you, and he feels that you don't always necessarily see it the same way. I do feel like he almost kind of wants to comfort you about that in a way. It's like, I would say he feels a little bit of a mix. On the one hand, he kind of wants to comfort you so that you don't feel that way. But on the other hand, he kind of likes the fact that you view him as, you know, opening a lot of doors of opportunity for himself. That does make him feel kind of smug and good about himself. But personally, he does feel that you have a lot of opportunities. There is a feeling of him kind of wanting to inspire you to like go for your dreams more. Ugh to smug, yeah. It's good old human nature, though, I think. So that's what I'm getting. I mean, if you had other specific questions about him, I can pull cards on that. You don't have to buy another reading just for if there's a specific question about him that you didn't feel was answered in this, but that's what I got. You know, I mean, despite the fact that he is busy, he is thinking about you a lot. You know, like you might assume that he's too busy to think about you or he's got too much else going on, but no, he definitely is still thinking about you a lot. So I hope that was helpful. Does he consider me as an option for romance in the future? I mean, I think so. I mean, he's definitely considered where this is leading or where it potentially could lead. Like he does think that out in his mind. Where is this leading? Where could it lead? So for him, his ultimate goal, I would think, is happiness with you. And does he want to settle down with you? You have the cutest emojis. I don't know where you get those. So you are on his mind a lot. And he likes the energy with this Sun card. You bring him happiness, and he wants to continue to be able to access the happiness that you bring to him. When I ask yes or no, does he want commitment with you, which I think is kind of maybe what you're asking. The yes card is an interesting one. It's the Justice card reversed, and then the no card is the Hanged Man card. You know, in terms of ranking, these cards are very close together. We have the 11 card and the 12 card. I mean, I would say it's like he has mixed feelings about that, basically, is what I would say. Like, I think with the Hanged Man, maybe he feels like he's not ready for that, or he has sort of cold feet about that. You know, normally the Justice card is a yes, but it is in reverse. So it's like, I mean, I think he sees you as someone who would be an excellent partner for him, but I think he has cold feet, basically. Yeah, I mean, he's not ready. Does he see that potential with you, that you are that type of person he could have that with? Absolutely, but he's not ready. He's not ready. Oh, should I send him a gift in the mail like sweets from my country? Rach, you're being funny. Okay. Should she send him a gift in the mail like sweets? Well, I mean, you have free will, so just do what you want, but like I am getting more of a no here. Get the Ten of Swords reversed, the Nine of Cups reversed, and the Page of Cups. What should she do then? I feel, you know, we have the Page of Cups here as the only card upright. And when I clarify and ask, like, well, what should she do then? It confirms what I was already thinking with this Page of Cups. We have the King of Cups, the Six of Cups, and the Three of Pentacles. It's like, I think you can just kind of trust the emotions. He already knows how you feel, and kind of trust those feelings to be enough to help this connection move, create more solidity for itself with the Three of Pentacles. Like, the two of you are building a connection with each other slowly over time. There's no need to do that. I mean, right, you're the prize, and the fact that the two of you have these feelings for each other, which you both are aware of, is also the prize, and that's enough in and of itself to encourage and allow this connection to continue to develop. But if she did send the sweets, like, what would that be? I mean, he would like it. He would definitely like it. I don't think it's necessarily that anything bad would happen by you sending him sweets. He would like it, and you would feel good about it. And, you know, it's just like, I don't think it's necessary. It's not the point of it, I think, is what your spirit guides are trying to say. Like, the love is there. You don't have to, like, earn his love or Six of Swords. I think maybe what they're trying to point out is that if you do this, like sending him sweets like this, it's almost like saying, well, I did this thing, so now I'm expecting you to take your turn and respond accordingly. But it isn't necessary to do that, to try to bait him into it. And I'm not saying that you're trying to bait him into it. I'm just saying on an energetic level, that's kind of the energy that's coming off of it if you do that. And your spirit guides are kind of saying, like, the emotions that he has for you should be enough, and that they are enough. I do feel like this connection will continue to develop. Okay, you get it. Okay, good. No, it wouldn't. I mean, he would be pleased. It would make him happy, but I feel like it's maybe, it's just not necessary. And I'm going to have to open this window over here. I closed it because I was recording someone's personal reading earlier, and I closed the window on this side because there was a baby crying over here. Lots of noises keep happening during my readings for people. I need a little bit of airflow. A bit warm. You're very welcome. Oh. Gosh, I feel like a never-ending hunger right now. Have any of you had this Dubai chocolate bar? I'm very intrigued. I'm doing keto right now, but I did find there are a couple of places nearby to me where I live that do sell it. So I'm looking forward to completing another month of keto. And then maybe a third one. Like, there's a kind of weight loss goal that I want to get to before I take a break from keto again. But I'm like, I want to try out this Dubai chocolate bar. It's so good. Yeah, it looks so good. I love pistachio. Drinking Dunkin' iced coffee with pistachio right now. I wish I had a Dunkin' closer to where I live, because they have a lot better flavor options for sugar-free. I do know that the pistachio is not sugar-free. I was actually ironically just looking at their app last night, like just seeing what the possibilities were. Anyway, my iced coffee is usually sugar-free vanilla from McDonald's, and a lot of times I'll get it without the cream to make it a lower carb content. It's still doable with the cream. It's like 6 net carbs. I get half the amount of pumps. It's probably a good idea. It is a lot of sugar. But even so, Dunkin' still has more sugar-free flavor options than like Starbucks. I'm like, what is Starbucks doing? I don't know. Starbucks is a place, I do have Starbucks here in the town where I live, and I go there sometimes. I like it enough, but I'm just like, there's no, I want some more like variety, and they make all these weird drinks. Like, are people really into the lavender? I don't know. I haven't tried it. I did like the iced cherry chai, which I've talked about in a different live stream, but it was also way too fucking sweet for me. But it tasted good. I like the cherry. Cold foam, it's good. But I don't know, I just feel, I don't understand. I don't know what their mindset is, but I like that Dunkin' has a lot of options to customize your drinks. I just don't have one close to me to go to. Yeah, it needs balance, yeah. I like my coffee to be sweet, but yeah, there's a definite tipping point of too sweet, for sure. There is another little coffee shop here too that has different sugar-free. It's like it's not a chain. It's just a little, like, almost like a little hut that it has 2 drive-through windows on each side. It's just big enough for the workers inside to make the drinks. You can't go inside or anything. But they have some variety in their sugar-free syrups. But I went there the other day and I asked for sugar-free marshmallow to see if they have it in stock, because a lot of times they don't have in stock everything that is on their little billboard. And they said that they did, and then what she gave me was coconut. Like, it clearly tasted like coconut, which is also one of their sugar-free flavors, but she's probably like me, and like her head like mixes things up, and it's like marshmallows are white, coconut is white, and like her brain is just transposing it. I don't know, but I got an iced coffee with, I hope, sugar-free coconut. This is also my anxiety when I order things. Like, I have this fear that they're going to put the regular syrup instead of the sugar-free option, but... Oh, I'm going to charge my phone. I'm at 15% here. I'm not sure if this will charge it fast enough or not, because my phone does use a lot of power when I'm live streaming. Yeah, I do that sometimes. Recently I've gotten sugar-free s'mores flavor, the Torani syrup, which they have at the store, and that's really nice. Yeah, I do that. I'm out of it right now, but I also have like the powdered creamer that's sugar-free, and it's French vanilla that I use. But like, I don't know, I just like coffee, so I like doing different things, not the same coffee every time. I like to switch it up. But yeah, I have been, for the past month, I was really like hardcore trying to control it better so that I knew that I wouldn't accidentally be getting any sugar, and that did pay off. And also, like, I was really mindful of making sure that my net carbs were definitely under 20, whereas I was letting it get a little bit over 20 before. And I think that's maybe why I wasn't having good weight loss effects and might have been getting kicked out of ketosis or something. But but yeah, when I go to the store again, I'm going to get that sugar-free s'mores again. That is really good. It's very tasty. Let's see. It doesn't say that it's charging. It should be charging. I might have to end the live stream because, I mean, I think it is charging, but it may not be charging fast enough. Takes a lot of energy from my phone to live stream. Anyway, I'll hold off for a few more minutes, but I'm hoping that like the addition of swimming laps along with the keto also like helps to boost the weight loss. But you know, with weight loss, it's like sometimes it's a little bit of a waiting game. It's about persistence, which I mean, I lost like 100 pounds from weight loss surgery. Actually, I lost over 100 pounds, and then I started gaining back. And that's when I started doing keto a few years ago, maybe like 3 years ago, doing periods of keto. And from the time that I started doing keto to now, I lost 90 pounds. So anyway, my total weight loss from my high weight, I actually just reached a milestone of like over 200 pounds. My high weight is 448, and now I'm at 240. So just slightly more than 200 pounds down from my highest weight, which I'm very proud of. It takes persistence, but you know, the weight loss surgery, it helped a lot, and it helps me so much in like, it helped me to basically recover from binge eating, because you can't eat that much at a time. So I'm so grateful. I still have my restriction from my, but at some point your body gets used to the eating less, obviously, and like you don't just continue losing weight unless you're doing like, you know, what I'm doing, like doing keto to get into ketosis. When your body's in ketosis, it's forced to burn fat for fuel, so that helps you to shed fat, weight. And now recently I've added the lap swimming for good calorie burn. So I don't know, but it's like, it takes persistence. Thank you so much, Rage. I feel good about it. Like, that's a pretty significant, I've been waiting for a while to get to that 200-pound milestone, and like finally I'm there. But then I'm like impatient again for the next milestone. But I have to remind myself, you know, like, just keep being persistent. That's what works. I can't seem to lose more than 10 to 15. I'd like to lose at least 60. Yeah, I don't know. It took me a long time to figure it out. And I honestly, I don't know if I ever could. I mean, there were times before I had weight loss when I did lose significant amounts of weight, but it was not enough because I was so obese. Like, I lost 60 pounds once and then eventually gained it back. I lost 45 pounds once and eventually gained it back. But like, that is a significant amount of weight loss, but it was not nearly enough as what I needed, right? Because I was so heavy. And so I'm glad that I got the weight loss surgery, because I feel like I could not have done it without that. And I don't know. I have compassion. I'm giving myself grace for that personally. But it took me a long time to figure it out. Hello, Alfira. Yeah, my phone isn't charging right, so I'm probably gonna have to end the live stream. I once lost 40, but I was in my 20s. Yeah, it is easier to lose weight when you're younger, but I don't know. Keto works for me, but you have to really figure out if you're in ketosis or not to figure out what your net carb limit is. But, you know, nothing is, everything is, everybody's different. So what works for one person maybe doesn't work for someone else. But, I don't know, but it is like weight loss is not easy. That is for sure. I hate to go. My husband's next action. Well, I'm not taking any more readings right now because I've got to get off, but thank you for saying hello to me. My phone is not charging though, so it's like if I don't leave the live stream, eventually my phone is just going to shut off anyway, so. I do have a lot of free pick-a-card readings at my Luna by Gabby Turner channel, as well as this channel, actually, if you want to look for those for some guidance. Bye. Bye, everybody. All right. Best wishes. Mwah.